Whether you're a buyer, a seller, or a realtor in this crazy market in 2022, we are here at 123 Potomac Lane in Mooresville, North Carolina. This is a beautiful home built by Grandfather Homes and listed by Missy Bagley of Grandfather Homes. It is currently listed for $4.3 million. It has 5 bedrooms, 5.5 bathrooms, and is a smidge under 5,000 square feet. Today, we're gonna go through my top 5 takeaways of 2022, and I'm gonna show you this beautiful house along the way. So let's head inside. So the first takeaway for 2022 is the importance of networking and building relationships. Obviously, this has been a wild year, and because of that, now is the time to lean in on those relationships that you've been building over the past year or years. And if you haven't been, then now is the best time to try and build some of these relationships. Because Q1 and Q2, the first half of the 2022 calendar year, were nuts. Rates were starting to go up, demand was going through the roof, buyers were going crazy, and houses were flying off the market. Now, Q3 and Q4, the second half of the year, things have cooled off a little bit. There's less offers, there's less buyers, and sellers are still trying to sell their homes. And now, more than ever, we're trying to figure out what the market is really going to do and what that means for Charlotte. And so because of that, now is the time to lean in on those relationships and the network that you've built. I've said it before and I'll say it again. It is so important that you have your team of people that you trust. Because when you make a call, you don't want to be sold on something. You don't want to be pitched something. Now is when you want to be able to have real conversations with real people that you do business with and that you enjoy doing business with. Whether you're buying a house, selling a house, or you're talking to vendors in the industry, it doesn't matter what it is. You need to have those relationships. And there's a lot of ways that you can put yourself out there to grow those relationships. What does that look like? Going to networking events, calling people, texting people, sending gifts, send a little thank you card when someone has a nice conversation with you or helps you out with something. Take people to coffee meetings, go out for drinks. There's so many different things that you can do in order to network with people and build relationships. It's not easy, but it's always worth it at the end of the day. All right, so takeaway number 2 from 2022. But before we even get into that, this kitchen is sick. I told you I was gonna show you my 5 favorite places in this house. This might take the cake for number 1. But second takeaway of 2022 is when you're doing a lot of videos, you're gonna get surprised. Good surprises, bad surprises. Some videos are gonna perform better than others, and some are gonna perform way worse than you're expecting. One video that performed very well, that stood out, was my Hopewell Church listing video down in Peachland, North Carolina, where at the very beginning of the video, I dropped a yeehaw, motherfucker. That video, I had no idea was gonna get the amount of attention that it got. And because of that, we were able to sell that horse farm in a week. And I thought that was gonna be on the market for a little while. We priced it aggressively, but we weren't sure what to really expect. And so because of that video and the amount of exposure it got really fast, and it got a lot of people talking. All of that combined is why we were able to sell that house fast. And it was one of those where you're surprised by the reaction because you don't really know how it's gonna be perceived when you drop an F-bomb in a video. But it turned out really well and the video was cool. We got the house sold fast and ultimately the sellers were very happy. So in retrospect, or the moral of the story is, make sure you just post these videos. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be as PC all the time. You can, if you curse when you talk, then curse in your videos. No one cares. And if they do, they're not gonna watch it. So just go ahead and start posting videos, putting the content out there, and see what happens. So my third favorite room in this house is this bonus room upstairs. Not only does it have this amazing vaulted ceiling, built-in beverage fridge, lots of built-in storage over here and in the back of the room, but it also has these really cool portholes that look into the hallway and a killer view of the lake. All that being said, my third takeaway for 2022 is the importance of building a sense of community and a great culture if you're trying to grow. If you want to grow your business, it's most important now to be able to hire the right people, and not just people who are good at their job, people who love what they're doing, love working with you, and that are a delight to talk to every single day. Because if you don't actually like the people that you're working with, guess what? The work that you're doing is going to suck. So the fourth takeaway, which we're going to talk about here in the primary suite, which as you can see is stunning, is personal branding is obviously now incredibly important. Whether you are a real estate agent or a buyer or a seller or a lender, attorney, the list goes on and on and on. Personal branding is super important because there's over 20,000 real estate agents in Charlotte. So how am I going to make sure that I can stand out? How are you going to make sure you can stand out in your market? And now, again, more than ever, when there's so many people trying to fight for the same clientele, you need to make sure that you can prove to someone that you are worth working with, because you are going to be better and more enjoyable to work with. If you're stuck in an elevator with someone and they go, hey, why should I work with you? There's 15,000 other real estate agents. There's 40,000 other real estate agents. What makes you any different? You better have a quick answer before those doors start to open. So what would you say? Do you know what you would say? I know what I would say, and if you want to know what I would say, call me. Now, the fifth and final takeaway of 2022 is that your personal life will spill into your business world. And that doesn't always have to be a bad thing. It can be a really good thing. I started dating Susie, my girlfriend, at the beginning of this year, and I've noticed that since then that I've had incredible clarity on my business because my personal life is so good. And because of that, I'm able to enjoy my personal life and focus on my business life. I now have a partner where I feel like we're running at the same speed and we're able to focus on our business and enjoy quality time together, which allows us to be laser focused on building a great future together. Because of that, it means that when I'm not focused on the business, I'm able to be there. I'm able to be present when I'm not focusing on work. It means I'm able to go on my brother's bachelor party, officiate my brother and my sister-in-law's wedding, go on my cousin's bachelor party, go to his wedding and stand next to him as he's getting married. All of these things that we're able to do with family and with our friends and the personal side of things, it's really nice to be able to completely shift from business mode to personal mode. And having a good personal life is so unbelievably important to being able to build a successful business. Now, before we leave, I'd like to give a huge thank you and shout out to Grandfather Homes for letting us into this beautiful resort-style home at 123 Potomac Lane. This house is currently listed for $4.3 million, and if you would like to take a look, give me a call and I'd be happy to show you. And as always, be sure to like and subscribe on YouTube, and I'll see you next week.